Hello folks, this is going to be a debrief for the self-awareness activity I posted for June 30th. Now, if you remember, the contemplation card was pleasure, the intentional attitude was gratitude, and the exercise was say yes. So, to flesh that out a little bit more, it was really asking you to look at how you perceived pleasure in your life. Was it something you were comfortable with exploring just in normal terms, such as did your family have a code of ethics that said work had to be hard? Or were you raised by somebody who thought, do what you want and the money will follow? Where does pleasure fall in with your personal value system now? And how did that show up in the week in terms of just really simply how many times in your week did you allow yourself to do things that were pleasurable? And how many times were you doing activities that could have been pleasurable, but you didn't really tune into the pleasure of it? What might that look like? For example, watching a movie that you really like that is uplifting. Do you really stop and let yourself enjoy the moment of watching something that is positive? Are you able to stand back and feel the pleasure at seeing a beautiful sunrise? Or do you just kind of appreciate it from more of an intellectual perspective? And can you allow yourself to experience pleasure in an embodied way? So that's something to consider. And of course, this may not show up directly in your life, but it may show up around you in your community, in your workplace, for example, or even like, for example, your book club, if you belong to a book club. Now, gratitude. Well, we know that gratitude is a really high frequency. And when you're in a moment of experiencing pleasure, there's almost always a quality of gratitude to it. So I think those two go together really well. And so I would look at that and say, how many opportunities did you have to feel grateful this week? How many times also were you in situations where you could look at the glass half full instead of half empty and be grateful for that? So for example, I had to pay a rather large bill on my car because of something that happened on the highway that was beyond control of my friend who was graciously driving for me because I had a headache that day. And it could have been something that damaged so many different things under the car because something got caught. It didn't. It only damaged one small piece that needed to be replaced. I didn't have to worry about my muffler. I didn't have to worry about many other things that could have been really badly affected by this piece of construction plastic that got caught under our car. So I'm looking at that and I'm going, you know what? Number one, I'm so grateful that I wasn't driving because she's far more experienced than I was. And number two, I am so grateful that only that one piece, yes, it was a big bill, but it could have been so much more. And I was able to take care of it. So there we go. I could have just grumbled about the fact that it happened. I could have grumbled about the fact that it was a hefty bill. And I really chose not to do that. Okay, so I chose to be positive and be grateful in that moment, which kind of goes along with the say yes, because the say yes is to everything positive, or at least benign. So the idea on that card was say yes to anything that is positive or benign, or graciously take a rain check, or accept it and pass it along to somebody else. Now, that's a really concrete way of experiencing the say yes. But the other way to do it also is in your mind. Again, I can say yes to being grateful. So you can work the cards backwards in this regard, okay? I can say yes to being grateful. I don't just have to be grateful for things that are offered to me. I can say yes to be grateful like I did regarding the mechanic, okay? It's really interesting too when you do start saying yes to good things, to focus on what is good, but also now from the concrete way of doing it, how did you feel saying yes, thank you? How did you feel letting in that good? To me, the whole thing last week was about letting in the good, acknowledging the good, feeling the good, enhancing that energy. And you know what? This is absolutely a perfect time for that, because with everything that is going on in the world around us, everywhere, like really globally, whether it's just, well, I can't say it's just political because politics affects everything else, but there's so much around us now that can potentially pull our frequency down and really pull us into small mind and small self, ego self, fear self. It's so easy to go there. It takes work not to. And it's not denying that things are going on, and it's not denying that there may be something that we can do concretely and actively about it. What it is doing is saying, yes, and this is also true. And I'm going to focus on this energy because this energy uplifts me and it inspires me. And if I'm going to come up with a concrete way to be helpful, it's going to be in this energy, not in this energy. So again, it's not about denial. It's about raising your consciousness so whatever you're dealing with, you can perceive it with a greater and deeper connection to your higher self, because your energy is higher and you have more access to that. You have more access to your intuition. You have more access to your guides, to your angels, and to the dimensions beyond us that are actually really genuinely here to help us at this time. So that is my lengthy debrief, but I think it was a really, really good exercise for all of us to be in. And I really encourage you to revisit this one, especially if you find yourself getting pulled down, disheartened, angry, just upset, hurt, whatever. This is a great, great series of cards to run back to. And I think this is one that I might just put on my wall so that I remember to do it on a really regular basis. That's it for now. I will momentarily be posting the self-awareness activity for next week. Take care, my friends.